So I think we had like an incredible start to the season. We had a great meta for us. And then I think from there, kind of the expectations began to change. We might be further ahead of our rebuild schedule than we originally thought, and we can actually make a splash in the playoffs if it's the right meta. You know, we don't choke on stage when it matters the most. Towards the end, like, we really improved a lot just from qualifying for all the lands. Honestly, our personal expectations at the end, like, were higher than what we ended up at. I think we had a very solid chance to make a deeper run. That was like kind of our expectation towards the end, which was crazy to say like at the beginning of the season. My Jet's visa didn't come through. Like the day before we're about to leave, I'm like, all right, everyone, you know, make sure you got your passports, everything. And then Jet's like, I don't have my passport. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have your passport? Like, we travel tomorrow. And then he was like, oh, I just don't have it. And I was like, okay, well, we had to rush, talk to like Blizzard, talk to like people in the Canadian embassy, like, and we somehow managed to get him in Toronto. Like, that was like incredibly stressful.
Versus the Houston. The rally, you might need to pop it. Yeah, Dante's half HP, and Houston needed that rally a bit earlier. Latch will keep himself alive at least, but for how long? Against Checkmate's Blade, who receives the barrier from Majet at the last second, just to ensure value out of. He's got the back hunch. He's gonna have to straighten things out, because Houston are heading towards point B.
Welcome to RuPaul's nap race, Lemon. However, you gotta touch the car, and I'm afraid that two supports simply aren't gonna cut it, mate.
The Rampage, and we're left with just two of Houston to keep the train rolling, and the brakes are getting pumped. Florida have respawn advantage, and the road is about to end here.
He'll be able to hit almost 4 people with the Rampage. Here it is.
Someone rampages and it hits 3, including the supports. Dante tries to help them, but there's no help. There's no life raft for Houston in this fight. It sets up the pins for Pelican to knock them down. RuPaul does shield bash away, but I don't think you can stop, because Pelican's ready at your spawn room doors to prevent you from going back home. Few more seconds remaining, and Houston Outlaws will take the series 3-0.
A higher seed, number 3 in the tournament, Lemon. They did decide that Florida Mayhem would be their target of choice.
That reverse sweep in Hawaii, we were not scared of. You know, going into matches, we were confident, like, no matter how much we were down, like, we've been here before, just nothing new. You know, like, they're the ones that are actually gonna be scared.
Yeah, Sermachet showing off his skills just a little bit. There's a minute to go, and the London Spitfire unable to crack the defense of Florida. Doesn't connect with anybody at all on the London Spitfire, but Checkmate just cleans him up with his dashes. They're trying to take down Hardy as quick as possible. First old fight. There's the rallies. There's oh, Checkmate! Oh my word! Backbone completely shut down the Florida Mayhem, making that one hurt. Sent towards that blade, but he ends up going down. Checkmate comes up big. Sparky kills one on Hydron, but it's not going to matter at all. History really does repeat itself with a kill onto Admiral. Landon with no rally, and London with no hope. The Florida Mayhem make sure history repeats itself with a reverse sweep.
He's up with the sound barrier.
Checkmate dives in with the blade. He's got a little bit of overhealth too. He's trying to get away from him, but no, Checkmate ends up taking it down. He was sub 100 HP, but an instant beat from Sermachet to keep them in the fight. Hopper attempt Mayhem escape from this. RuPaul has also activated his rally, but he had to run back to spawn because although he was chasing him in time, and it's all up to all those blade. He's 10% away, but they have to deal with this Rampage. It hits although in Hopper, as Hopper takes care of RuPaul, but the health bar's dwindling. The hopes of the Mayhem sky high right now as the Toronto Defiant cannot hold them on this last point. Maybe overstood a little bit. My mistake, sorry, that was Choron. He takes a headshot, and Hydron just cleaning up. A beautiful sleep from RuPaul. Takes care of all though, and with overtime, there it is, it's coming out. Hisu disengaging, and a dynamite hits a lot. Someone falling pretty low, staying with RuPaul, and he ends up going down to Although. find the flip. Overtime's ticking down. Can anybody get back in time?
I think Toronto was just, not that we didn't have the experience of playing a team in front of a hostile crowd, because we had that in Dallas, but I think we were definitely much less prepared in Dallas versus in Toronto, where we were very close to actually beating Toronto outright. But so I think that was like the large challenge, like knowing we had that in the bag and we kind of let it slip, but we still made like so much more progress. We went much further than we did in Dallas. Both were in front of hostile crowds, but Toronto, I think that was the point where like, okay, like we can, you know, we're close. We're getting there.
500%, true percent.
Against Atlanta, I think we were confident going in, even though we didn't have as much practice as Atlanta. I think we looked at kind of their roster construction, and it was a Winston meta. So I was very confident going in that like we have the better like Winston, and in a Winston meta, like we have full confidence in Ham to carry us and to be able to, you know, be that X factor at, you know, pretty much all times when he's on Winston. And we're not at all surprised at the outcome.
And that is it. They zone Hawk back. The push comes through. The Florida Mayhem will be able to make it happen here in the extra innings. And
Seoul, we'd actually scrimmed them like 2 nights prior, and we like absolutely rolled them. They're just loaded with veterans, so I think they were able to make adjustments like off of that one scrim.
Back it up.
So what mental here from the Seoul Dynasty. They're going to use that beat. Everybody getting over health, and the Suzu from Surma. She had used super early on in that fight. Surma's dead. Hydron dead. Fitz with the easiest kill of his life. Checkmate falling, and so did the rest of the Florida Mayhem.
You know, our team a little younger. I mean, they got Hall of Fame players, you know, incredible players, and I think they made the adjustments that they needed and were able to beat us in the actual match. But I think, you know, with a little bit more experience, I think the result would definitely be different. It's just, it is what it is. Like, we have a young team, and sometimes you know, you stumble a little on stage and you're not able to make those adjustments that a veteran team would be able to make.
The Seoul Dynasty going to end that series quick, sharp. A 3-0 to end it all.
Just ended up happening that ATL was on the same bracket in the losers, and we had to play them again. So we're confident. I mean, I don't think, you know, given the meta, it was just like not a good meta for them. Like, I mean, they made it interesting for sure. They definitely played better the second time around than the first time around.
Quick step into that fight. Regardless, the Atlanta Reign, they managed to flip the point back here, and maybe, just maybe, Checkmate is punished for holding onto that Reaper ultimate too long. The first map of this series goes to Atlanta, goes to his ult, but it may not be a factor in this fight. Hydro needs to double back here, going for the overclock, and what a connection! OG falls straight into that railgun. The sound barrier definitely helps the Mayhem hold out. It is a shutout of the range here. The Atlanta Reign has a huge advantage for them in this fight, but they can't get to someone. Hydro's able to pick off Gator, because Gator eventually has to leave him alone on the high ground. This guy a consistent thorn in the side for the Atlanta Reign, a superheated one. Of course, as those railguns ring out, showing discord in the ranks, and it looks like Kai might have an audience with the king, but someone gets taken down. Nero is able to chase him, clip him with the Hellfire shotguns as he hastily tries to beat a retreat. The Mayhem may have overextended themselves here, but Checkmate again comes out of nowhere, hits him with the RKO, and somehow Nero has to try and find a way to survive.
But it just wasn't good enough. I think we had too much experience, too much practice on the meta comp at the time, and they just didn't have enough. So
these guys play slow because they have no choice, yeah?
Yeah.
It's our job to play the game. It's their job to watch us play the game. Okay, we go first, yeah?
Yeah.
Really simple. These guys are fucking terrible. All we have to do is play fast enough. They can't think. Don't let them think. Don't give them a second to think. 3, 2, 1, Mayhem, yeah? Let's go.
3, 2, 1,
Hangzhou Spark versus the Florida Mayhem. From Animo, after they've already survived the initial pressure from Hangzhou's Death Blossom.
That is that veteran experience as well, like Animo. You can see the Death Blossom coming out to top things up here for the Checkmate. The cherry on top of you, Will.
Yeah, that's it. Checkmate. Maybe a sneaky back cap here coming in from Hangzhou, but it's really just Winston and Lucio on the point, and against Checkmate's DPS output, Super Rich is down. Gushue is trying to get buys enough time for Gushue to get back and trying to use the overclock to get Kitsune Rush from Servajit from underneath the building. Florida Mayhem try to get back, but as 3 seconds start to tick down and overtime chances start to expire, Florida Mayhem have no choice but to throw their bodies on the point, and with that down the cart, someone with a fast rotate to be able to heal, get healed back up, but a huge bubble, maybe a great save. Florida Mayhem checkmate, able to secure that second point. If Alpha he needs it, the Death Blossom could follow, but Shy has found two with the Winston and the Soldier looking for a third. But Kushue is gonna steal those away before the team kill comes through. And as we see someone try to rush back here with the Doomfist, he goes down and the overtime is going to expire as the pushback goes over the line and Hangzhou Spark and Florida Mayhem home.
For us going, like we had confidence that we should be able to beat them, but I think come match time, like they had just improved so much. And I also think they had the roster for it, like Shy's an incredible hit scan, Gushra and Winston obviously. So going in, we known they gotten better. I think it was just unfortunate that, you know, they basically downloaded us and knew how we were gonna play, and they themselves got better. Comes down to experience as well, like they have a lot more experience that really helped them out in the end. We kept our core in another world. We probably would have kept Majed. We decided to keep a core of someone, Checkmate, and RuPaul. You know, that's a great like building block. But it all worked out. I think we got the top prospects that we were looking for, or the top free agents like in the market. We're ready for season 6. You know, hope the fans are going to be as excited as we are for next year.